The last I seen my son, he was blowing me a kiss, and then they cut the iPad off because then they were venting him.
After 41 years of being inseparable from her son Mark, Barbara Stiles says a COVID diagnosis at Thanksgiving took him away from her. Mark has Down syndrome.
He was begging, my mama go, and so they let me stay with him till they rolled him out.
Barbara says Mark was placed on a ventilator at the beginning of December at Mission. Due to COVID protocols, she nor any of her family have been able to visit.
We're lost because he is our rock.
Barbara says after a few weeks, doctors told her it was time to take Mark off the ventilator and let him go peacefully.
We were going to do that.
Barbara says the night before they were going to do it, he became responsive.
A nurse called me and she said, Mom, Mark's having a bad night. He's got tears. And from then on, I hung on with everything in me.
Somebody wants to talk to you. Who's that?
Mark. Hey, baby. Has he got that out of his mouth?
Yep.
And he's doing okay like that?
Yeah, he's doing really good, actually.
Mark has since been taken off the ventilator and is doing better.
But I called FaceTime last night, and he spoke to me. He told me he loved me.
Barbara says he still has a long way to go. She says they still don't know how Mark got COVID since they've been so safe.
This is a horrible disease, and once he comes home, I'm nailing the doors and the windows shut. And it'll have to be dropped in by airmail.
But now she says thanks to her little miracle, she's no longer waiting for a goodbye, but instead, hello.
Hey, buddy.
Caitlin Penter.
Hey, Mama's baby.
News 13.
I love you.
Oh, he's doing very good, ain't you, baby? You doing good? Yes.
Always keep the faith.
He doesn't even look like he's been fighting COVID. He looks healthy as a horse.
I know. He looks amazing.
41-year-old Mark Mull is home from the hospital after battling COVID for more than a month, spending weeks on a ventilator. His family was told to say their goodbyes, but his spirit shows why it was never time to count him out.
It feels wonderful to know that we can touch him and know that he's okay.
Mark was reunited with his mom, Barbara, right before he was discharged, the first time they had seen each other since he was admitted to the hospital on November 29th.
When you seen Mama, what did you think? Was you happy to see your Mama? Yeah.
Since he's been home, Mark has gotten to celebrate Christmas, catching up on all things wrestling and superheroes.
For Mark, that's right. Just for you.
Mark's family says they can't thank the staff at Mission enough.
Then the nurse that got him this, it stayed by his bedside and on his bed while he was in there. And that's how they knew he was responding, was this chicken. We're squeezing the chicken.
The family also wants to thank the community. They were able to buy Mark a new bed from money donated through the GoFundMe.
Do you like being a celebrity? Huh? Yeah, you do? Yeah.
Mark's been doing physical therapy to get his strength back. His family says he still has a ways to go with recovery. They say they hope Mark's story gives others hope.
Never give up, because you would miss out on something wonderful.
Caitlin Penter, News 13. The North Carolina Down Syndrome Alliance is asking people, whether or not you know someone with Down syndrome, to write letters to Dr. Mandy Cohen and Governor Roy Cooper, because they say people with Down syndrome need the COVID vaccine now, and they say statistics support that immediate need. Down syndrome groups in North Carolina are fighting back after they say people with Down syndrome have been bumped down on the COVID vaccine prioritization list.
When they expanded Group 2 to include adults 65 and older instead of just 75 and older, they essentially took people at increased risk and put them in Group 4.
Yet another obstacle they say they now have to face. They thought they had won their battle back in December when the CDC put Down syndrome on the list for increased risk of COVID.
To be moved down the list is just one more example of how people with Down syndrome are marginalized in our community. You know, we're always fighting for something.
I fought COVID and I won.
The importance of the vaccine is all too real for the family of 41-year-old Mark Mull from Haywood County. He has Down syndrome and got COVID back in November. He spent weeks on a ventilator and almost died.
If Mark could have that or could have had that, we wouldn't be going through what we're going now.
Mull is now recovering at home, but his mom Barbara says he has a long way to go.
Learning to walk all over again. That's something that we're having to deal with right now, and trying to keep the fluid down is another thing because he's not mobile, so he's got a lot of swelling.
Studies have shown that people with Down syndrome who get COVID are 5 times more likely to be hospitalized and 10 times more likely to die from it.
He's a little spoiled too.
And loved ones like Barbara add this pandemic is far from over.
You know, I still worry about the next strand. What's it going to do to him? I mean, I was protected this time, but I don't know how he got it, but I'm all for that. Yes, absolutely. I would let him have it right now.
The leader from the North Carolina Down Syndrome Alliance that we spoke with said it like this. She's had 20 years with her son and she wants 20 more. In Asheville, Caitlin Penter, News 13.